If you didn't know this poster or see my video's headline, you would never guess who that was. Welcome to PosterCentral.com's video blog. I'm Pete Howard with a dramatic opening for a switch or something. I'm just crazy about these three Bruce posters I have to show you today. Yep, that's Bruce Springsteen. It's sometimes called the hair poster because there's the hair blowing in his face, or if not blowing, I should say just tumbling onto his face. And it's a somewhat famous and well-known poster, and I'm just so tickled I finally got one. Look at that day-glow pink guitar. I mean, they just had such fun making this poster. But anyway, today I'm going to show you three Springsteen posters from 1969, when he was in a couple of bands before he settled in as Springsteen himself. And that would be both Child and Steel Mill. Child was a short-lived band of just a few months in 1969 before he had to abandon the name. There you can see the venue information down at the bottom. Now the thing that's really cool about these three posters I'm about to show you, I love it. I mean, it's great fun to find posters anywhere, right? It's great fun to find them at a garage sale that people have no idea where they came from, or it's great to, grab them on eBay or whatever. But I got these three posters from the gentleman who was the promotions manager at Free University in Richmond, Virginia. And Free University is just like it sounds. It was a non-accredited, no tuition necessary, hippie adventure campus in Richmond, Virginia, in certainly in 1969. Not sure when it opened, but I know that it closed by 1970, as so many hippie adventures did. But anyway, this gentleman was the manager of, he was the promotions manager for the campus, and the performing venue on campus was called the Center for the Performing Arts, which everybody just called the Center for short, and thus that's why you have just the Center on this poster. It was a big open space up on the second floor, held about 500 people, and I mentioned it closed in 1970. After it did, it continued on and was resurrected as the String Factory. But the source I got these posters from knew Bruce back then and actually put these posters up around town driving his VW Bug. So I just love it when I can get stuff like that. Now look at, in fact, this one, talk about put up around town, huh? This was probably up in his, dorm room and various living locales in the ensuing 40-plus years since then. So, but I just love the dripping with authenticity. Sure, it's nice to get a mint poster, but when I don't, and I get one like this, I say it's nice to have one that's dripping with authenticity. Now this is Bruce's third band. Following, he had Castiles and Earth before this, so Child was his third band, and they were formed in February of 1969, and they featured future E Street Band members, Danny Federici certainly on keyboards, Vinny Mad Dog Lopez on drums, and plus they had Vinny Roslin in there too. It's funny, they had two Vinnies in the group, Child. End of summer 1969, September 19th and 20th, tickets $2, and the opening act you can see way down there in living color. And of course, not to be confused with the African-American rock band from the late 80s, just plain living color, which had Vernon Reid as their frontman, but this was in living color. And there's actually a 1-hour tape circulating, a poor quality audience tape of one of these two shows, either the 19th or the 20th. So that's really fun when you can, hear those and have a poster to match. But unfortunately, no early versions of Rosalita or anything like that. It's just Bruce originals from the late 60s. So then we go forward, I didn't count how long, September 19th, 20, what, 6 weeks or something? I'll make that a couple of months. Did my math there rather quickly. To another poster of Bruce's, but this time he has changed his name to Steel Mill. I say that loosely, he has changed his name, you know what I mean. This is, tickets were still $2 each, and the same venue, the same location, the Center. See down here, the venue info, the Center. It actually does say at the bottom this time, it says Free U. See that? Free University. So that's pretty neat. But this is a real, that one had the day-glow guitar. This one has a lot of day-glow graphics in it. And just, to keep you from thinking, I'll point out, that's the boss right there with his longer hair. And it even says on here, besides Steel Mill, it says formerly Child, of New Jersey. So they were going through a name change crisis, and it was necessitated because another group, I'm trying to think, another group named Child was starting to make some noise, and they had recorded an album for Roulette Records, and so the boss and the other guys in the band felt, well, that heat is getting too strong, and so we better change our name, so Steel Mill is what they went with. Now, the opening act on the poster, it says there, Morning Disaster. See that? Well, maybe they had a disaster the previous morning or something, but they had to cancel, and Mercy Flight played instead, a local band, a Richmond band. Mercy Flight had a drummer named David Hazlitt, and reputedly he is Hazy Davy from Bruce's early song Spirit in the Night. No Steve Van Zandt yet. Miami Steve wouldn't join Steel Mill for another 5 months. And let's see, what else can we say about this? Starts at 9 p.m., so they both had a 9 p.m. start time. Interestingly, Steel Mill, after playing in Richmond this night, the next night they drove about 15 minutes away to Ashland, Virginia, and opened for Chicago Transit Authority, who was touring off their first album. God, what I'd give to be to that show. And the night after that, same venue, also in Ashland, Virginia, they opened for Iron Butterfly, which was on top of the world with In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida and their new Ball album. So, you know, there you had Bruce, the future of rock and roll, opening for a couple of very respectable bands at the time. And it's just, you know, I wish, you know, it's just great to hear that kind of information. I really like it. One thing that's really, I've mentioned this before, sometimes a concert poster artist or the person laying it out, and in this case, by the way, it was Dale Milford of Squeezo Graphics, who silk screened these posters, I'm told, at the back room of Free University, as a matter of fact, and they might have only done 100 or 200 of each. But anyway, every so often they'll put something on a poster that is just implied. I mean, I should say it's implied on everybody else's posters, but they'll just put it on. I saw once a big band poster, I think from the 40s or 50s, and it actually said on the poster, this act will appear, or your money, guaranteed to appear, or your money will be refunded. Well, you know, duh. I mean, you know, that should be on every concert poster, right? Well, this is a good example of that. This is funny. This is what every concert poster designer wanted to put on their poster, but only... I flipped it the wrong way. Did I? Yeah, there it is. Look at that. Please don't be a pig. Can you believe it says that? Leave it up until after the show and then rip it off. I mean, that's, you know, that just shows that people were taking down cool concert posters even in the late 60s before they were, of course that was happening a lot in San Francisco with Bill Graham too, but it's just so funny that the poster designer, you know, in this case again Dale Milford, would implore people, man, you know, we silk screen these by hand and there's only like 100 of them or something, and if we put them up and you take them down, we're not going to sell any tickets and it's a big wasted exercise. So I think that's just really a cool thing. But at both concerts, by the way, it's plugged on here. Actually, it's much smaller on this one and bigger on the other one, but they were accompanied by the Airflow light shows, which was owned and run by Tak Keck, a colorful guy characterized by his large, flaming red beard. So that's pretty cool. Finally, the third early Bruce poster to show you today is a promo poster, not a concert poster, and it's still Steel Mill. Look at the way that silver just pops off there. Isn't that nice? Now, this is smaller. This is cardboard. But it's half the size of the two concert posters I just showed you. It's only 14 by 11, so it's half the size. And it was basically used in 1969 to promote Bruce's band name change from Child to Steel Mill. And this all comes from the source, again, that I got these from, who put them up around town. And it's neat. It's got a rubber stamp on it here. I don't know if you can quite see that, but it says registered, and it says for bulletin board display, and then remove with a long underline. So, you know, you had to put on there what date you wanted it removed, because otherwise these store windows and everything got cluttered with junk and telephone poles and whatnot. So there we have it. 3 nice early Springsteen posters from the late 60s. Love to give them to you in bunches when I can get that lucky. Usually you get things like this one at a time. But had a triple header today. Great fun for us lifelong Bruce fans. I've seen him in concert over 40 times, but never Steel Mill. I wasn't old enough. Anyway, maybe you did. That'd be cool. So thanks for coming by. Hope you enjoyed him as much as I did. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.